Welcome to the Travelman Podcast. If you're joining me for the first time, my name is Ben and I host a podcast on travel. I'm based in Melbourne, Australia, and on today's podcast, I'll be talking about Miami and Key West. Key West I loved, and Miami I didn't love as much, but maybe I'll get into that at the end of the podcast. This will be the final in my American Adventure series. Be sure to check out the other episodes that I've recorded with my wife Mandy. That is my American Adventure series Los Angeles, my American Adventure series with Chris Rainey, my friend from Yellow Productions on YouTube. Check out Yellow Productions. And there was my American Adventure series New York City. If you're a returning listener, then I hope that you enjoyed the podcast series. I'm planning on making another series on my travels to Seoul and South Korea and Taipei, Taiwan. I'm actually off to Seoul tomorrow and it will be cool. It's like a 4:15 p.m. flight, 9 hours to Bangkok, then a couple of hours layover, and then 5 hours to Seoul. So let's get on with the podcast.
Continue on Overseas Highway.
Welcome, travellers. Continue on Overseas Highway. That's what the navigation has just told us. Mandy is commencing the driving and we're leaving Key Largo. So the last time you heard from us, I would have been talking about our time in Miami, which I haven't recorded as yet, but that will come first. I guess I can talk a little bit about Miami now anyway. Miami was okay. We were staying at a place called the Mondrian in an Airbnb. It was a pretty old, an old Airbnb. Like, the place was pretty run down. That's what I meant to say. But other than that, it was all right. We did the Vizcaya mansion that you can do, or museum and gardens, and that was fantastic. Really enjoyed that. That's just a train ride away from Miami.
Yeah.
Probably downtown. It's a little bit harder to get there from South Beach because you've got to take the bus, the S bus from West Avenue.
No,
Was it?
No. Oh, yes, from
not
Alton
West Avenue,
Road.
Alton Road.
Yeah.
But that's okay. That was fun. What else did we do in Miami, Mandy? We also...
Well, given that we're staying in South Beach, we checked out South Beach.
Yeah, South Beach is all right.
Lots of poses.
A lot of poses in lots of sports cars, and I actually did a little bit of research, and people will hire a Lamborghini or Ferraris and things like that, or Bentleys, which there were plenty of them where we were staying, and just cruise around for a couple of days or a week, whatever, and pretend that they're famous, which is, I guess if that's what you like, then that's cool too, all good. But yeah, it's not our thing. What else? We went to Wynwood, the Wynwood Walls.
Oh, yeah.
That was interesting. A lot of graffiti artwork around there. You probably see the same amount of stuff if you come to Melbourne, where we're from. I'm still yet to do a Melbourne podcast.
Melbourne stuff is more organic. It just happens.
But that's everywhere.
Yeah.
This is just kind of isolated to one spot.
It was it was an industrial area that was known to have some crime and issues there, and so some smart cookie decided to transform it into like a area where all the young will come and have a look at the artwork, I suppose, on the walls.
Yeah. It's free.
It's in an industrial area, yeah, and it's free. So
it was an industrial area that wasn't really used that much, and they took a little bit of advantage of that area, bought some buildings, and then put in the walls or put in the artwork, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I had to change lanes.
That's okay. Anyway, this is the Key Largo special. or the Key West special, or the drive. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet.
The Florida
But
Keys.
we've been driving from South Beach, and we started around 7:45, maybe?
No, before 7:30.
Was it before 7:30?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the good thing is I've already had a swim. So we're in Key Largo as we speak, and we've just been to John Pennekamp Coral Reef State Park, where there is access for $4 or $3.50 per person. So it worked out to be $9. Wait, I don't know my maths.
$4.50
per person, sorry. So it worked out to be $9 for both of us. Mandy didn't really swim. She put her feet in the water, but I had a bit of a swim. I'll probably put pictures up on the internet. I don't know if Mandy took any photos of me actually swimming.
I took video of you swimming.
Oh, she took video, which I won't go up. Anyway, so John Pennekamp Coral Reef State Park is one of the first exits off this overseas highway as you enter Key Largo. We did a little bit of research last night just to see where we should stop for a bit of a swim, because I wanted to have a swim. Haven't had a swim all trip. So this was the first place that came up, and it was quite nice. Where I swam, there was just a lot of mangroves, so not an actual coral reef or anything like what you would imagine, because I always thought that Beach Boys song, you know, Key Largo, Montega, oh, I want to take you to Kokomo song, Kokomo.
Yeah.
I always had this other idea of Key Largo, but maybe that's an area I haven't seen yet. But just to give you a little bit of understanding of the John Pennekamp Coral Reef State Park, it is a national marine sanctuary, and it's over 178 nautical square miles of coral reefs and seagrass beds and mangrove swamps. So I swam in the mangrove swamps area, which is nice. It's clear water, but it is kind of greenish. But you can do snorkel tours and dive tours to certain things under the water. I think there's a person under the water, like a statue or something like that.
Of Jesus
a statue of Jesus underwater. So yeah, I mean, if that's what you want to do, then I reckon that would be really cool, and I'm sure the water would look amazing out there. So
I think as you go further south,
yeah,
is less mangrove, more ocean.
Yeah, for sure. The further south we go, we're going to be nearly at the same level as of the Bahamas,
yeah,
or even more south.
Yeah.
If you were to draw a line from the bottom of Key West to right through, it's pretty much the Caribbean. Well, it's in the Mexico, or the Mexican. I forgot what it's called.
I don't know.
Mexican Bay.
Oh, okay.
Something like that. But it's pretty cool. I like it so far.
It's much better change of pace than South Beach.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it more than South Beach.
Yeah.
So, if you're wondering what we can see right now, it's just a lot of trees either side of the road, a one-way road, like mangrove trees and so forth. And nothing really spectacular right at the moment, but we will be coming into more areas where there's bridges and so forth, where we can probably look at the water and kind of explain better as to what we're seeing. We're back on the road with you guys. So yeah, before you heard, we were talking about the John Mellencamp Coral Reef State Park, and really enjoyed the John Mellencamp.
It's not what it's called.
John Pennekamp. We just passed one of the biggest American flags I'd ever seen in my life. And it's at half-mast. There's a lot of American flags at the moment at half-mast. I wonder if Trump's okay. He's supposed to be meeting Kim Jong-un sometime this week.
No, it's going to be delayed.
Oh, is it delayed? Okay, fair enough. Wonder why.
Don't know.
Fair enough. I was also going to say John Pennekamp, the Coral Reef State Park, has a nice small aquarium which is free.
Yeah.
So don't forget to miss that. I mean,
Not to
don't forget not to miss that, because it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so far, the drive has been easy. We're in Islamorada. I don't know if I've pronounced that wrong or not, but it says I just passed Islamorada.
And then it says something else. I don't know where we are.
Well, we are still on the overseas highway, but I'm guessing because we've passed Key Largo.
Coral something.
Or Coral Shores?
Maybe.
Maybe. I can check on my phone if I can find it. I love being in the car. I love that this is all ad hoc. This is what the people want. People want to know that we're actually doing this for reals.
Mm-hmm.
Although I can't really prove to you if we really are on overseas highway or not. So you just have to take my word for it. So I'm going to turn... Oh, my location is on. And it says that we've gone past... Are we... Oh.
Oh, no, we are.
Are we in Plantation Key, maybe?
No, Islamorada. That's where we are.
We are in Islamorada.
Yeah.
Not Islamorada.
I don't think so.
Okay. Oh, fair enough. So, we've just passed... Well, past Plantation Key a little while ago. It is Islamorada.
Yeah.
Yeah. So far, this road doesn't give you a view of the ocean or the water. On a map, it would look like you would have a view of the water. But all around us is vegetation
Buildings.
and some accommodation and other buildings like car rentals and places to pick up fishing equipment or boat sellers, which is fair enough. We're actually about to pass or go over one of the main roads now, one of the main bridges now, but all I can see is mangroves really to my right, and left. But it's quite pretty. It's not an ugly sight at all. It's quite nice.
Very straight roads.
Yeah. So we're heading to Windley Key, which is just where we are right now. And there's a few nice places around here. I think we're about to pass, what's that, the Strathel Plaza. It looks like it could be somewhere for accommodation needs. Oh yeah, and there's an ice beer bait and tackle shop. Could have done with a beer. That's okay. That's a nice view, actually.
It's only 10:55.
It's 10:55 a.m. and we're just going over a bridge now. And that looks nice. You can see right into the open ocean. You can see how the water changes colour from like a dark browny blue to a really light aquamarine type colour. That's really pretty. And there are a few palm trees around here and manicured lawns. And we're passing the Hog Heaven for oceanfront dining, sports bar and grill. Hog Heaven, Hong Kong.
Looks classy.
It does look classy. Actually, it doesn't look classy at all. That's a joke.
Sarcastic.
If people, wonder if people get Australian sarcasm.
Nope.
And probably not, actually. Australian sarcasm is quite different. Although I think Chris Rainey was understanding our sarcasm by the end, because he's quite sarcastic himself.
I think Floridians aren't that nice, by the way.
Floridians.
Yeah, people from Florida.
People from Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Floridians.
Yeah.
Do you even know that's a thing, or you just heard that from me and you just assume it's right?
No, I made it up, and if it's right, it's right.
I said it earlier today. Floridians.
I said it yesterday.
You said it yesterday. Fair enough.
Anyways.
Oh, there's this sandal outlet around somewhere. You can get 4 t-shirts for like $6. That's cheap. I don't know the quality of the t-shirts, but I'm not sure if they'd be any good.
Pockets of land, and then...
No, there's pockets of land with like palm trees and vegetation and obviously accommodation. Like,
whoa.
what we're passing now is a huge place. It's called
Marine Mammal Park.
Marine Mammal Park. Oh wow, Theatre of the Sea.
Wow.
That does look pretty nice. Don't know. I mean, obviously it's like an aquarium type place or like a SeaWorld. Pelican Cove. Resort and Marina. Nice. So it looks like there's a lot of accommodation in Islam. I was about to say Islamophobia. Islamorada. Now we're passing another bridge. So I don't know how exciting this is for people. Probably it's not very exciting at all. It's exciting more so for us. Oh,
very pretty.
Very pretty. See the seawater starting to change now. You can actually visually see the seaweed, the grass, the coral underneath the actual water. What? School zone.
Scares me every time.
Wahoos. We just passed Wahoos. Probably a place where you can go fishing, or it's probably somewhere to eat Wahoos. So it looks like at the moment now we are... Why does it say we're heading into Islamorada now? Okay, fair enough. We've got a few other places to go. Well, it's quite a long way to go. We've got Leighton, then Duck Key, then Marathon, then Big Pine Key, then Cudjoe Key, then some Sugarloaf Keys, Saddle Bunch Keys, but you don't actually go through them. They're just more like little islands. Stock Island, then Key West. So we are going all the way down to Key West today. And like I said previously, we've been driving for a little while. Oh, History of Diving Museum. That might be something to see on the way back up, Mandy. Because we're trying to get to Key West at a good time. We're staying overnight there. At a nice little place.
Yep.
Don't know what it is. Forgot. Mandy, do you remember where it is?
In Key West.
Do you remember the name of it at all or anything like that? Because it's a little hotel.
Starts with W.
Starts with W. Let's just say it's a W hotel.
Whirlwind.
Windhaven.
Something like that.
Right. Not Mexican Marada?
Nope.
Oh, Mexican seafood. Tasty. I think people obviously know that we're driving now because I'm pulling out all these names of places like the Mystic Mermaid, and they'll be able to look them up and know that follows the whistle stop or just before the whistle stop. I am definitely on Overseas Highway going down to Key West. If anyone's doubting me, because I know there's a lot of flat earthers out there. I don't know if any flat earthers follow me, but just to let you know, Australia is a real place. I just looked on YouTube the other day, Mandy, and there's a lot of videos that YouTube is telling me to listen or to watch.
Yeah.
Saying, is Australia real? Of course Australia's bloody real. I mean, I could say the bloody same thing about is Key West real? It's not real until you've seen it, I guess. What have I just said then? That means those people that haven't seen Australia will still think it's not real.
Okay.
Anyway, there's no such thing as flat earth.
There you go, Sandal Factory.
Sandal Factory, here it is. Where you get t-shirts and sandals for really, really cheap.
Shrimp Shack.
There was a Caribbean village just then. Oh, American Caribbean real estate.
Too big.
So I wonder if this is technically part of the Caribbean. I was thinking about that, like the Key West area.
Not sure.
Hurricane Monument.
Historical monument, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. We'll have to go past some of these places on the way back.
Yep. Too hard to stop now.
Yeah, too hard to stop. But that's enough rambling for now, and we'll see you very soon. Ta-ta. Hello, guys. I just want to say that still on the road. It's probably only been about 10 minutes since I spoke to you last, but for you it will be like a second because it will just blend in together. But we've just passed some really nice looking water where you could actually physically with your own eyes see the changes in colour because of what's actually on the bottom of the ground. Like you can see the grass, the coral, the sand, probably the dead coral. See, I'm not too sure how great their coral is out here, but watch out for the armadillo. You can see all the coral. Don't know if there's any armadillos here, but I just threw that out because I saw something that looked like an armadillo.
The bridge over there.
Oh, it's a bridge over River Kwai. Nice. That's not true. But we are going to be going over, I think, a pretty well-known bridge soon. I'd like to know what it's called. Maybe I can look at my my phone. It could be, well, it's still the Overseas Highway. Maybe it doesn't have a name. But the water in parts looks pretty still. There's some areas where it's a little bit choppy, but it's nice. And it's definitely the type of place where you could go swimming here. If you had snorkel or even
Dead
scuba
sharks?
gear, you could swim around. Of course, there'd probably be sharks, but not big ones. Be smaller sharks, like white-tip reef sharks. They're harmless. I've swum with them before in the Great Barrier Reef, and they're fine. So, yeah, don't be scared of them if you're ever swimming in the water and in a coral reef. Be scared of great white sharks or tiger sharks or bull sharks.
Colder water.
But that's colder water. You've got to be quite a lot deeper. Apparently, sharks, someone was telling me the other day, I don't know if this is correct or not, that they don't like shallow water, which I don't think that's true. Or they don't like surf. We're actually about to go over this elevated bridge, which I'm guessing connects you to Leighton, the area called Leighton. So this is quite nice. Either side of me is pretty much blue water and no mangroves now.
Why do you think it's elevated?
Why do I think it's elevated?
Ships?
Probably for boats and ships. And to the right of me, there's electricity poles, which is a bit weird.
It's crazy.
Also, to the right of me, I see a coral reef.
Wow.
That is pretty cool. So I'm going to try and take a photo of that while I'm talking to ye. Come on. That's great.
Beautiful.
Wow. That is stunning. I think Mark and Evie would love that. That's my brother and sister-in-law. They love everything that's tropical. They're tropical fanatics. So yeah, oh wow. I have seen water this nice, but it's nice to see it again. Very, very nice. Alright, well that's enough from me for the moment. Oh yeah, I also want to say that I went airboating yesterday, and that was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
In the Florida Everglades. We used Coopertown airboats,
Really fun.
which are one of the most established airboat companies in Florida Everglades, as well as the most sustainable.
And we held a little crocodile.
Yep, we held a little crocodile.
It's cute.
Yeah, so not a cockatiel, but a crocodile. It was really cute. We're in Fiesta Key now, and either side of me is mangroves. So I think that's about it for the moment, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. We're actually just arriving into Key West right now. We've had a good run. Mandy's been a very good driver. We've seen some interesting stuff on our way up here. There's a lot of palm trees that were obviously maybe blown over in the last hurricane. They're called hurricanes, aren't they? Turn right.
Yep.
So we got the window down. That's why you just heard
Sorry,
that truck
guys.
there. That's all right.
Just turned.
I like it. So we're here in Key West, and there is a cable car system here, which is exactly like Miami. And we are turning right onto Duval Street.
No, this is Roosevelt.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Duval is the main drag.
Oh, Marriott Beachside.
Nice.
Oh, well, this is a nice little place. One of our aims while we're actually here in Key West is to try and figure out some of the locations which they shot Bloodline. It's a series on Netflix that we really enjoy. So we want to try and see where they filmed that. there is one location I know of, and it's at one of the old hotels that is actually featured in Bloodline. So that is accessible. We can get there.
Mm-hmm. I'm just concentrating because
Mandy's concentrating.
I don't know where I am, and
all I'm going to say now is that I would just follow the navigation system, because you're doing well.
Following the ocean.
Following the ocean. We do have the ocean to our right-hand side. It is a little overcast, but it's been a bit overcast here and there all throughout the day, but there's been spots of sun coming through. Yep. But it's quite a lovely place. I can see why people would like to come down here. And it's a lot less hectic than Miami. So I think if I were to come here as a traveller, maybe give yourself more than just a couple of days. Give yourself 3 or 4 and really just enjoy it. Which you probably could do, just lying on the beach type of thing for a couple of those days. Who knows? Especially if it's beautiful weather.
Yeah.
I want to see Ernest Hemingway's house.
Yeah.
That's one of my main things, actually, that we're going to see here. Mandy just put up the windows. That's a lot better. There's a big truck next to us. So the Ernest Hemingway house, where supposedly there are lots and lots of cats.
Yay! I love cats.
Which have 6 toes on each
6
paw.
Really?
Yeah, instead of 5 or 4. 5, sorry. 5 toes, because usually they got only 4 with their thumb thing.
Go say it.
What, the lady getting into the jet ski?
Nah, I thought you wanted to eat there.
I don't want to. Oh, it looks gorgeous, actually. That does look like a lovely place to eat. You know what, Mandy? That looks like one of the areas where they film Bloodline.
Oh, yeah.
Where they go have drinks.
You're right.
So, suck it. Okay?
You're right.
We're probably going to go to the Stoned Crab later. I'm pretty sure you can't get stoned. Yeah, keep going. We can come back. I know it's on North Roosevelt, or would it be South Roosevelt? Roosevelt Boulevard. It's warm in here.
Yeah.
It's nice. So we'll go back to the crispy crab or whatever it was bloody called. And yeah, I think that's about it for now, guys. We will recap our Key West holiday for you later on, or maybe when I'm back in Melbourne or in LA, because we're still going to go to LA tomorrow night, and then after LA we're just there at night sleeping, and then off to Melbourne to go home.
Yeah.
Boo-hoo. But what an amazing trip it has been.
Yeah.
And I'm just so glad that I can share it with Mandy, myself, and that one other listener that we have.
Just one.
I just don't think I have many listeners, Mando. Maybe I've got 100,000. Okay.
Matter.
Just quietly. Maybe 100,000.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Thanks for that. And I'll be with you very shortly. Bye-bye. This is so post. It hurts. Because I've already come back from Taiwan and Korea. And I loved both of those places. They were both really, really cool places. If you haven't gone to Taiwan or Korea, please put them on your list, because they are great places to go to. Anyway, I am trying to wrap up this Miami and Key West podcast. I didn't really talk much about Miami. It was cool. I like certain elements of it. Maybe I want to talk more about Miami in its own podcast with Mandy, as there was a lot of elements we liked about it. There was elements we disliked about it. I can tell you I probably wouldn't go back to Miami unless it was to fly to Key West, which I bloody loved. I loved Key West, and I loved the drive down with Mandy. That was amazing. We saw a lot of sights. We, stopped at John Pennekamp State Park, and that was really cool. We had a bit of a swim, as I told you previously in the podcast. Then when we got to Key West, I thought, what a beautiful little town, and I thought I could stay here for at least another couple of days, as we only had that night and the following day, and then boom, we were back up at Miami International Airport and on a flight to LA on that same day. So it was really a fast little holiday to Key West, but we really wanted to see Key West before we left America. Now, one of the beers that I enjoyed when I was in Key West, if you ever want to try it, it's Islamorada ale. It's an ale from Islamorada, not Islamorada, which I was saying the whole time. It was so stupid of me. I'm sorry if I offended anyone. Islamorada is not a place, but Islamorada certainly is. And I also tried this thing called Land Shark Lager. It says it's the island style lager. That was really tasty. And I had that with a crab, like this crab bun thing. That was so good. Chips. I'm just looking at some pictures here. Oh, Hemingway's House was awesome. I loved Hemingway's House, as I've read Hemingway's novels in the past. And I do think he is a great writer, even though some people don't think he is. Those people will stay unnamed, my dad. The cats there at Hemingway's mansion or his house are unbelievable. They all do have the 5 or 6 toes, and I think that's called... I can't think of it right now. It's on the tip of my tongue. No, I can't think of it. But we stayed at this really nice place. Actually, it had 2 pools. 2 really, really nice pools. The dining out in Key West is okay as well. We tried to just eat local fish and delicacies and so forth. Took a lot of photos looking at them now. Oh, I tried conch balls, conch fritters. Conch fritters are really tasty, but you do have to put a lot of lemon juice all over them, otherwise they're quite bland. You need to have conch fritters if you're ever on that side of town. The architecture in Key West is really nice as well. Be sure to take a lot of photos and enjoy that, because it is that kind of Spanish colonial look. Well, certainly that one building I'm looking at in my pictures. That is cool. Look, I can't say anything more about Key West than I really, really enjoyed it. I went up to that marker, which tells you it's the most southern part of America, of continental US, and that was cool. There's so much to see and do in Key West. I did not give it enough time, but I am saying this right now. If I go back to America within the next couple of years, or whenever I go back to America, I would love to do Key West and do it right, and probably spend 5 nights there, I'd say, so I can relax, because I really wanted to go for a swim, but the whole time, well, the 1.5 days that we were there, the weather wasn't great. It was like overcast and a little bit showery and stuff, but the whole time in Miami it was like that, so maybe my view of Miami would have been a bit different if we would have had some sun. We went back to LA after Key West after a 4-hour drive. Back from Key West to Miami, 4 hours, and then we went to, I think we spent a couple of hours at Miami International Airport, and there was another 3 or 4 hours to LA. Then we spent the night in a hotel. The following day, waking up, eating, what are they called? They're called Cubester. I think it's Cubester. No, Brooklyn. Brooklyn Water Bagel Company stuff. Now, the Brooklyn Water Bagel Company has some delicious, tasty sandwiches. What are they called again? Why is it escaping me? They are called bagels. Oh, you stupid man. Bagels. They're cheese and, well, cream cheese and salmon bagels are delish. So I had that, and then about 10 minutes later, I had a double from In-N-Out, because I'm such a naughty boy and I love American fast food. In-N-Out has to come to Melbourne. Otherwise, it's just not fair. Look, I think that's about it from me. I'm just talking a little bit of crapola now, so thanks for listening to this whole series. It's been fantastic, and I've enjoyed being on holidays, obviously, and coming home and recording and doing a post stuff and editing and all that. I love my podcast. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Travelman Podcast on, I was going to say Hotmail. There's like no such thing as Hotmail anymore. Follow me on Facebook. I've got a page which you can like. I've got a group which you can join. I am on Twitter as Travelman Pod. I'm on Instagram as Travelman Podcast and Travelman Ben. So 2 Instagram accounts. I'm on Stitcher. I'm on Apple iTunes. If you're on iTunes, comment and give it a 5-star rating if you really like the podcast. Whatever you can do to help me, I am very appreciative. And thank you very much. And I'll see you again in the next couple of weeks, 3 weeks probably, for another great podcast. It will probably be a wrap-up of maybe our Taiwan trip and our Seoul trip, or a Seoul podcast and a Taipei podcast, something like that. I'm not sure yet, and I'll probably have the dear wife with me again, because I just think it's better with 2 people talking, because maybe I'm a bit weird by myself, although I'm not sure. Anyway, love you. Bye-bye.